I'm Betsy Ronel, and I'd like to welcome you to beautiful Bedford, New York, 50 minutes outside of the city. From history to movies to horses, we've got it all. Come with me, and I'll show you. Hello from Bedford, New York, one of my favorite parts of all of New York State, and I'm with the esteemed Lynn Ryan, who is the Executive Director of the Bedford Village Historical Society and the President of the Bedford Village Business Association. Lynn is here to tell us what makes Bedford so special and near and dear to our hearts.
Well, thank you, Betsy. I'm so glad to talk a little bit about the town that has been so special to me. Bedford is a town that really values its heritage, but it is a living village. So, for example, the post office used to be a saddle shop, and the man who ran the saddle shop was a man named Batch Ben, and Batch stood for bachelor because he wasn't married. So Batch Ben had a little bit of a bad reputation because at night he used to close the shades on the second floor of the post office and play cards with his cronies. So the Business Association is involved with keeping vitality in Bedford. The Historical Society also strives to bring vitality to the village.
So Lynn, you give such a beautiful history, and we know it's so important to you, of the Bedford Village. What are we doing today with all these beautiful buildings we've saved?
That's a great question, Betsy. So some of the buildings are used as historic sites. For example, the courthouse, where we have our museum on the second floor. The courthouse is Westchester County's oldest building that's still standing, and one of only 3 state courthouses built in the 18th century.
Wow.
That still remain.
Amazing.
And the last building would be the one we're in right now. This is the Bedford Store. It is an old general store that actually used to be located over on Pound Ridge Road, but was moved here in about 1890. So students come and can learn about colonial life. They learn about how justice was served in the courthouse, how education was delivered when it was in one room. And also I do a series on artifacts through the centuries, utilizing many of the objects that we have from our museum collections. So students can learn about types of tools that not only the Native Americans used in pre-colonial time, but also the objects that were created in the Industrial Revolution, which have been replaced by even greater technology.
I've been to some of these when I help out on the school tours, and they're so fun to see Lynn. She's all in colonial garb. You don't recognize her, but you do see colonial Lynn out on the green.
Thank you, Betsy, and we love having you volunteer your time to help us with that program.
Yeah.
I've been here a long time, and I will say that we give a pretty good party.
Yes, you do. We do some fun stuff here in Bedford.
So we do some fun things to really get the community together. The thing that makes Bedford also unique and special is that we still have this original village green. We also have the Hop Fest.
So fun.
Which is our version of an Oktoberfest.
We also have a lot of sip and strolls, and at Christmas time, it's the most glorious and most magical night.
That actually, the tree lighting and the events that happen that evening, while many organizations are involved, we do open the courthouse for an open house, and the playhouse is open, and some of the stores stay open late. But the tree lighting is actually managed by the Business Association. So we feel very fortunate to have this historic village which is full of life, but also with a nod to its past. And that there's activity and life going on inside every one of them.
It's an old-fashioned modern town, is how I like to call it.
Yeah.
And Bedford is known as the living village that brings history to life, and I love it for just those reasons.